Hi, my name is Sam Tooker. I'm a trial attorney here in Greenville, South Carolina at the law office of David R. Price Jr. PA. I'm here today to talk to y'all about motor vehicle accidents wherein liability is disputed, i.e. cases where the police say you caused the accident, but you're hurt and you say somebody else caused the accident. I've got several instances or war stories where similar things happened to my clients, and by virtue of investigation and hard work, we were able to recover. And so I'd like to recount some of those stories for your benefit, in as much as it might help demonstrate why it is that in some cases, just because the police say you're responsible for a collision, you are not barred from financially recovering against the insurance company of the other driver. So the first example occurred on Wade Hampton Boulevard at a Quick Trip. My client and her sister-in-law were shopping around Christmas Eve. It was maybe about 8:30 at night or 9 o'clock at night. It was dark outside. And they were a little bit tired, and my client got confused pulling out of the gas station. And she pulled out of the gas station, and if you know Wade Hampton Boulevard over there, it's 6 lanes, so 3 lanes each way. She pulls out of the gas station and pulls into the middle of the wrong lane of travel. So she's sitting there staring down the barrel of a 3-lane highway going the opposite direction. Immediately she realizes that she made a mistake. She attempts to course correct and very slowly approaches the intersection where she's going to pull off to the side and get out of the way. As that's occurring, cars are having to dodge her. They're driving around her to ensure that they don't cause a collision. She gets to the point where she's about to make a turn to turn off and avoid potential danger when, bam, there is a massive head-on collision. A car careens over a hill, smacks into the front of her, and causes extensive damage to her vehicle. Initially, she gets out. She thinks she's okay. They check her out on scene. They send her home. She is at work the next day about 10 a.m. She starts feeling a little woozy. People at work don't know what's going on. She looks a little pale, and then all of a sudden she passes out. Ambulance gets there. Once the ambulance gets there, they realize her blood pressure is dangerously low. They call in a helicopter to transport her to GHS. She's transported to GHS, and what's revealed is she's got internal bleeding, and it has gone undiagnosed, and she's about to bleed to death. She goes into emergency surgery. She recuperates for a few days. Everything's hunky-dory, except that she's got hundreds of thousands of dollars in medical bills. What we were able to do is, when we started investigating the case, we found out that the fellow that collided with her was an unlicensed immigrant driver. In addition to being unlicensed, he admitted that he was on the phone when the collision occurred. And not just on the phone talking on the phone, but his buddy had pulled up a video, was showing him the video as he was driving down Wade Hampton Boulevard, and he was watching the screen when the collision occurred. So by virtue of that, it became an issue of comparative fault. How much fault should be apportioned to my client? How much fault should be apportioned to the driver that was on the cell phone? We had a limited amount of insurance, and by virtue of our work on the case, we're able to identify a case theory that made responsible the other driver to the extent that he was at least 50% responsible. And by virtue of that, got a full tender of insurance proceeds and resulted in a pretty hefty recovery for our client. And so it's a good example of why it is, even when you do something super boneheaded and something that is objectively a good example of bad driving, you're not necessarily barred from recovery if the other person involved in the collision was equally at fault for the collision. And so just because a police officer cites you or attributes fault to you in a collision, that does not mean you are responsible for the collision, and that does not mean that you're barred from recovering against the insurance company for the other driver. If something like that happens, you've got a case, you've got damages, you've been to the hospital, you've got substantial medical bills, it's worth talking to a lawyer. Give us a call here. The phone number is 864-271-2636. That's 864-271-2636. We'd be happy to help you. My name, again, is Sam Tooker, the law office of David R. Price Jr. PA. And if something like that occurs, you just give us a call and we'll talk to you about it. Thanks.